Hey, if you've been calling yourself lazy lately, please stop. You're not lazy, you're just exhausted, and yeah, there's a difference. I want to establish this isn't a grand productivity speech, it's just me. I'm tired, I'm burnt out, and I'm trying to make sense of things. And oh my goodness, I know I'm not alone. So please, this is for even if it reaches one person, for both my fellow Americans and non-Americans out there. It is straight up apocalyptic right now. So it makes sense instead of channeling creative energy from suffering. So many of us are frozen and paralyzed in the what ifs and the whys. And honestly, that's probably why I've been AWOL from my channel for a good 5 months now. There is such thing as survival exhaustion when you are worrying about rent, food, bills, and job security like every single day. That stops becoming the side quest and is now the main story. Listen, I'm a firm believer in you work to live, you don't live to work. Like, I definitely have my views on how oppressive working culture is. If I had it my way, I would just create. I wish there were more creative jobs out there for creative people, but there simply aren't. I think that humans are meant to create and enjoy life, not sit there in a fluorescent office hating themselves. But look, I get it. Working is necessary. You want a productive society and you need to have the worker bees who make that society run. I get it. I really do. But in this day and age, capitalism squeezes the life out of any and every single worker. Most companies / corporations really just do not give a flying fuck about the individual life of any given one of their workers, right? So then it's really on that individual worker to preserve their own fucking sanity and use their very limited free time to actually enjoy anything else in their life when they're not giving energy to working. So the way I look at it is with a battery. You have only so much of that battery that you can extend to your day. For so many of us, it's the real life responsibilities, the work life, and exchanging our time for money so that we can live that takes that battery and leaves so little to any creative endeavors. In fact, I've touched upon this very concept in a past video because as an adult, this was the biggest slap in the face of reality that I could have possibly gotten. But it's okay. You can still be creative as an adult. You have to make the time for it, but ultimately you shouldn't feel guilty or feel lazy when it doesn't necessarily connect. At some point you've probably thought, I have free time, I should be doing more, but then you freeze and that turns into guilt, which adds more stress. This isn't laziness, it's mental overload, and you're not a broken person for being stuck in it. With everything going on in the world, it can feel rushing as an artist to have that pressure put on yourself by yourself. But do not worry. You are not a machine. You do not need to prove your value. You don't need to constantly produce and create and achieve to earn your existence. Some days you'll do a lot, and some days you'll do nothing, and neither one of those defines your worth. Standing still is not laziness. Stopping and breathing is not laziness. You're fueling yourself. Resting is not the opposite of growing. In the stillness, and when you're resting, that is when ideas come to you. That is when you heal. That is when you can just breathe. And I feel like it's not talked about enough that this is just part of the process, and it is not something to be ashamed of. Rest also isn't something that you need to hold off on and reward yourself with once you've achieved a certain amount. Rest is part of this process. It isn't a reward, it's a need. It is a human need. And especially if you're anything like me and you are living in survival mode, rest can feel threatening. Rest can feel like it's something that is a time waster. Social media even worsens this because you're constantly seeing the lives of others and have no choice but to compare yourself. It feels like there is a timeline. But know this, there is no right way or time or age that you have to be to achieve anything at any point in your life. There is no one set timeline for everyone. And if it helps at all, just remember, rest in nature, in human history, is fundamental to survival. So if you want to better accept yourself and allow yourself to rest and not be so hard on yourself, to remind yourself that no, you are not a robot, you are flesh and blood, and that you deserve to rest without seeing it as laziness and healing the exhaustion of simply surviving in a world such as ours. Maybe it's time to shift the question from why can't I be productive to what do I actually need right now? Let me know if this hit home for you at all. Trust me, I am no stranger to burnout. I'm back after being absent for like half a year, so hello. Burnout really does come for us all. But with that being said, there is more to come, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!